Hey guys, Anthony Ace Michaels from SleeperSelections.com. Gonna go over Week 3 NFL with you guys, but first, hopefully you cashed in on that 11-5 record for Week 2. It was a 14-2 on Week 1, so we're looking at 25-7 record here, guys. But most importantly, I don't play every game. I just try to give you guys who I think is going to win. I only play between 3 and 5 games a week, but 4-0 again this week, past week, 8-0 best bets. So when I say they're, something that I'm going to play, if I say I'm going to play it a little bit, I don't consider it a best bet. But if I say that, I really like it, I'm going to start calling out the best bets. And for some of the other guys that, leave a few comments here and there, they don't have time to watch a 20-minute video. I'm going to try to get it down as short as I can, but I would watch a 2-hour video, if I could go, 14-2, 11-5, 8-0 on best bets. I'll sit there and watch it all day if it's going to make me money. So, and I also have the cheat sheet available, Tony's tip sheet. I'll give you guys more on that on the website and in the comments section. If you guys just want to get the tip sheet, I could probably send it to you through email or however, but we'll figure that out. But Week 3, you're finally starting to get a feel of what teams are good, what teams are bad, what divisions are good, what divisions are bad. You really start to get the feel. The first 2 weeks are kind of up in the air. You don't know. By Week 4 and Week 5, I should have it nailed on what teams are elite, what teams are okay, what teams are bad, what teams match up against other teams. I could kind of see how the defenses are going now, in what direction. So it's a little bit easier, but this week is a little tricky. So I'm still going to pick all the games for you. But it's a little tricky on some of these games, so I wouldn't expect a huge 14-2 week. But I wouldn't expect a 2-14 week either. You should be somewhere in the middle there, but focus on the top plays. We're gonna go tomorrow. Today is Wednesday. I'm doing this video a little early, so tomorrow is the Thursday night game, and we got Miami at Jacksonville. The 0-2 Dolphins looking for their first win. You got Fitzmagic versus Minshew. It should be a spectacular game for a Thursday, and I can't believe I'm saying that. Just for the simple fact that these teams kind of match up. I know that, on paper, you're probably, you got Jacksonville -3. And -3 for the Jacksonville Jaguars, their first couple games, they did score a lot of points against teams that weren't very good. And on the other side of the ball, Miami is in a tough division here. And they played 2 tough teams in their first 2 weeks. And they're not a horrible team. They have elite receivers, I believe. I like the defense. I just like this team. Gesicki is going to be a beast in this game, the tight end. And I think that, I'm going to play this game, and I'm going to put it as one of my top 4. And I don't do that on a Thursday. Thursday games are usually a little weird. I didn't pick the first week. I missed out on that first game. I didn't get the video in on time, but I did have the Chiefs. But I can't give myself a win for that. But I'm 0-1 on Thursday games. I had Cleveland last week, and they were -5.5, and they won by 5. I figured that hook would get me. I knew who would win the game. It wasn't a top play for me, but I did bet a little bit on it. But on this game, I'm going to take the Miami Dolphins and start my week out. I do believe that they win, and if they don't, take the 3. It looks like it's pretty steady at 3, even all the way down. You might get 3.5 come kickoff time. A lot of people like to, bet the Thursday night game. So you might get 3.5 if you can. I would definitely take it. Let's go to Sunday. We got the Las Vegas Raiders at the New England Patriots. And we got the Patriots -6. It opened up at 6.5, guys. So this is a game here where, New England's not who they used to be. They do have, Cam. I call him Scam Newton because when he's good, he's not good, and when he's not supposed to be good, he's good. So in this offense, it's a little different. He just looks slow to me. Watching the game, he just kind of looks slow, and excuse me a second. And to me, it's going to be a hard game for New England. The Raiders are on fire here. I on my notes here, you know, I like the John Gruden matchup versus Bill Belichick. He's going to treat this game as a Super Bowl. He wants to beat Belichick badly, and he has a good chance of doing it here. You know, Jacobs, what could I say? I said that this guy would be a top 5 running back. I believe he is, if not top 3 by the end of the season, if his health can hold up. But I do like what the Raiders are doing. They're going into New England, but that doesn't say much this season. So I'm taking the Las Vegas Raiders in the +6. If you could get it at, you know, 6.5, I would try to do that. I would even try to get it at 7. But I do think the Raiders could win this game. So 6 is not a top play for me, but I think it's enough. Next game on the slate is the LA Rams at the Buffalo Bills. They're both 2-0. Buffalo at home, so they get the -3 open up at. I see it already down to -2 at DraftKings. So we got -2, 2.5. Buffalo at home. Goff, Allen, Kupp, Diggs. Seems pretty even to me. You know, the Rams are rolling, and they have the best offense, I believe. One of the best offenses in the NFL. And they have a good defense. I mean, are they great? Are they elite? No. Are they great? Yeah. You know, the Rams running backs are a little banged up. Could be a question mark here. So make sure you look to see before this game what's going on. But I do like the Rams, even though they're on the road here. They're both 2-0. I think Buffalo is not as good as advertised, and I think the Rams are going to win that division like I have predicted at the beginning of the season here. So we'll go with the Rams, and we'll take the +3, hopefully. Next game is the Houston Texans at the Pittsburgh Steelers. 0-2 versus the 2-0 Steelers. The Steelers open up at -6. It's already down to -4. So a lot of people think that, you know, Houston is a good team that just ran into the Chiefs and the Ravens, the 2 best teams in the NFL. So they're true on that. You know, I like Watson. I like what he's doing. I think he's too good to lose 3 in a row. Big Ben, I like Big Ben too. But they haven't played strong teams, and they've only won by a few points in each of those games. They're not a bad division because, I mean, you got one of the best teams in that division. But at the same time, you know, Pittsburgh hasn't really impressed me, and Houston has, even though they lost both of their games. You know, they did lose Hopkins. That's going to hurt. I think that the Houston Texans could turn it around here. I'm going to take the +4. If you can get it at 4.5, that's safe. As long as you get it above 3. Pittsburgh always is one of these teams, the home team, that always comes up with a crazy safety or a pick 6 at the end of the game. So it is scary because they're one of the teams that always covers that spread in the fourth quarter on an odd play when they're just supposed to kill the clock. But I'm going to go against it, and I'm going to take the Houston Texans. Not a top play for me, but, you know, by all means, I like them. Next game, San Francisco 49ers at the New York Giants. New York is underdog. San Francisco opened up at -6.5, but after all these injuries on this team, they're down to -4 at quite a few books, guys. This is a top play for me. You know, I don't care too much about the injuries in this game. Raheem Mostert might not play. He's doubtful. So, I mean, do you need him in this game to win? Probably not. Garoppolo, do you need him in this game? Yeah, you kind of do, and I believe he'll play. Kittle will probably play injured because he's one of the toughest players in the league. Defensive-wise, Bosa's out. Still makes this one of the best teams even without him. And the Giants just lost Barkley. And when you lose a guy like that on a team that would be 0-2 even if he was playing without him, the team looked lost to me. You know, I'm a Bears fan. I watched that game. Both teams didn't look too good. Bears defense wasn't good, and they couldn't score. Still couldn't score at the end of the game. You don't look back, but sometimes you have to. I think the San Francisco 49ers are going to roll here, guys. You know, Daniel Jones, they're going to be all over him. They're going to be blitzing him. It's going to be a lot harder for him to score touchdowns in this game, and they're not going to be able to really run the ball too good to score touchdowns. So in that case, I think the San Francisco 49ers are a lock. They're going to be one of my top plays of the week at -4 somehow, but I'm going to take them. Next game is the Tennessee Titans at the Minnesota Vikings. Tennessee -2.5 on the road. They are 2-0 going against the 0-2 Minnesota Vikings. You know, Minnesota is not that bad. You know, and Tennessee, I hate to say this, but they're not that good. Both teams are about average. You know, Tennessee played a little bit easier games. You know, Minnesota had to play in a division rival, and then they had to go on the road. They're at home. I expected a little bit different here. Yeah, I mean, it's not a game I'm going to play, guys, but, you know, at the same time, when you got Cousins, Cook, and Thielen, you know, running your offense, you could have a chance to win, and you're at home, and you're an underdog. I'm taking Minnesota, and I'm going to take them plus the 2.5. Hopefully, I can get 3. Next game, the Washington Redskins versus the Cleveland Browns. Cleveland Browns open up at -5.5. And then after their Thursday game, because these spreads go in a week in advance for some reason, they're doing that now. They're all the way up to -7. Washington is not that good of a team. You know, they have Haskin. You know, he's not that bad. They got McLaurin catching the ball down there. But that's kind of all they have. I mean, you know, they don't really have a running game. You know, they rely a lot on their defense, which is mediocre at best. Cleveland is one of these teams, when they're favorite to win, they don't win. It's not a game I'm going to play by all means. But, you know, I'm picking them all for you. So I'll take the Cleveland Browns -7. I think Baker Mayfield, and the one reason that I took them in this game is because they have the extra rest. So they had 10 days of rest, 10 days of practice, if you would call it. And usually a team that has, I wouldn't say veteran guys, but guys that are getting older, that have been in the system together, they do a lot better off of the bye week or off of a Thursday game because they have an extra 3 days. So that's going to lead me towards the Cleveland Browns -7. Next game, Cincinnati Bengals at the Philadelphia Eagles. Philadelphia -5.5 opened up, and it looks like they're still at 5.5. I got 5 at DraftKings and MGM, and yeah, there's a couple books out there, guys, that have 5. They're both 0-2. Burrow, he's getting better each game. Wentz is getting worse each game. So that's making it more even now. What offense would you rather have? I would rather have the Philadelphia offense, but in this circumstance, the way they've been playing off to the slow start, are they going to go? So one of these teams is going to go 0-3, and everybody expects the Bengals to be 0-3. I could see Cincinnati winning the game, and if they lose the game, I think it'll be close. I mean, it's not going to be a play for me out of my own money, but I will take the Cincinnati Bengals plus the 5.5. Make sure you get the 5.5, maybe 6, because people really think that Philadelphia, that's the thing with the betting public, guys. They always think that this team is supposed to win. No way they could go 0-3. They could go 0-4. They could go 0-5. Any team could win. They're all professionals, guys. I don't really like that whole they're supposed to win thing. So in that case, I'm going to take the Bengals. I didn't start out with my Bears game this week, but that's the next one on my list here, the last one, noon games. The Chicago Bears at the Atlanta Falcons. The 2-0 Bears versus the 0-2 Falcons. It probably should be the other way around, but it's not. You know, fortunate for us Chicago Bears fans. They open up at -3.5, the Falcons. Now they're -3. You know, people are buying into the Bears a little bit. They looked awful again against the worst team in the NFL. They played two of the worst teams in the NFL back-to-back, and they escaped both of those games. They just don't have it right on defense right now. And maybe later on in the season, if they could get a couple more of these wins that they're not supposed to, they could get it together. But in this game, you know, Atlanta beats themselves, you know, and the Bears somehow win the games that they're looking terrible in. So both of these teams, if I'm going to go with an offense, I'm going to go, sorry guys, but I'm going to go with the Atlanta Falcons. It's not going to be a play for me. I'm going to have my Bears jersey on. I'm going to, you know, my wife's a big Bears fan. I'm going to be, you know, watching the game, cheering on the Bears. It's hard for me to do that, but hopefully I'm wrong on this one, guys, and I'm sorry if I get you a loss, but I'm going with the Atlanta Falcons, and I'm going to take the -3. Maybe 2.5, but it'll probably stay pretty solid at -3. I just think that, you know, what would I rather have? The Bears defense versus the Atlanta offense? It should be a no-brainer here. Going to the first late game. We're going to go at 3:05 game. The New York Jets at the Indianapolis Colts. The Jets are the Colts are -11. They open up at -7. They're 0-2 to Jets. Like I said before, Phillip Rivers as a big favorite, he never seems to do the trick. Anytime I've ever, you know, bet on the San Diego Chargers or, you know, the LA Chargers or whatever you want to call them, anytime I used to bet on that team, and before I would do a lot of handicapping, I would be like a lot of you guys, you know, just betting the games because they're on TV, betting because they're fun. -7 or more, this guy would always lose. They would lose straight up. Darnold is not the best quarterback, but he's not the worst. He's still learning. You know, it's a hard game for me because of the point spread. Not a game that I'm going to play at all, guys. But you have to pick one for you. And, you know, the Jets division is not that bad. You know, I think that this is a solid division. And they had to play two tough teams. So I understand. And Indy has a weak division. And I know that they didn't play all division teams. But they barely win in the games. I mean, you know, I can't take Phillip Rivers at all, -11, so I'm going to definitely go against them here and take the Jets. We got the Carolina Panthers at the LA Chargers. LA Chargers open up at 6.5. I see it at 5.5, the low. So people are betting the Carolina Panthers here, which, you know, I'm scratching my head. Herbert, the quarterback, versus my man Teddy Bridgewater. You know, what are some of the notes that I got here? Key notes, you know, rookie quarterbacks. Yeah, okay. McCaffrey is out, you know, and that's big because you have Mike Davis running the ball, and Mike Davis hasn't really did anything his entire career. You know, people probably don't even know who Mike Davis is, but he's been in the league a while, 5-6 years. And he really hasn't did anything. He's always been a backup. Now he's going to have pressure on him. He's not as fast. He's not as dominant. You know, all the arrows are going in, you know, the LA Chargers' favor here. But, you know, I don't really care for either one of these teams. So I'm going to take the Carolina Panthers in the points. When in doubt, not a game I'm going to play, but when in doubt, always take the points because your team doesn't have to win, guys. So, you know, if you're in these contests where you got to do a pick 'em every game, and if it's against the point spreads and you're not sure, always take the points. That's just advice I've used, and it works more times than not. Next game, the Detroit Lions at the Arizona Cardinals. The hot Cardinals, my hot Cardinals. Hopefully they can win a division for me, but it's going to be tough. They are open up at 3.5. I don't know what they're watching in Detroit, and Detroit's due to win, right? They lost how many in a row? It's at 5.5 already, and it's going to 6, guys. So I'm locking in the Arizona Cardinals as one of my top plays of the week. And I just can't see, this game even being close. Arizona's defense is good. Arizona's offense is good. The only thing that's questioned is when the running back is the leading, or is the quarterback's the leading rushing yardage for a team. That's usually that was like a Michael Vick stat back in the day. But his team's won. And that's all we're looking for is a win here. And if you get -5.5, Detroit hasn't really did anything. Keep your eye on wide receiver injuries in this game. That was a note that I got. So if everybody's ready to play, Murray or Stafford, I'm going to go with Murray all day. I like what the kid does, and he's proven, and he's going to be another elite quarterback in this league, and they're at home. It's going to be a top play for me. Tampa Bay Buccaneers at the Denver Broncos. Tampa Bay -6, opened up at -3.5. Wow, Tom Brady. Locke is out. I understand that. And Driscoll will be in. Lindsey's not playing. It's a banged up Denver team. Gordon's going to get a lot of carries here. Tampa Bay, is decent at stopping the run. But Denver's defense brings it, guys. Especially when they're at home. It's just something about it. Even if there's not fans, if there is fans, it doesn't matter. You're in that mile high. The air's, it's hard to breathe. It's just something about being there that it's always like a 13-16 game or a 10-9 game, something crazy like that. I think this game's going to be close. And that said, I'll take the +6. I got 6.5 at PointsBet. So I'll take the +6.5. I'll buy it up to 7. It'll be a small play for me here. Take the Denver Broncos at home, but not one of my top plays. Next game, the Dallas Cowboys at the Seattle Seahawks. This is probably the game of the week for Sunday. Prescott versus Wilson. The Cowboys, look, guys, they saved their season with a miraculous comeback, down 20 in the fourth quarter. Came back one by one. They saved the season. They got everybody going in the right direction with that win. And that's the momentum booster there. The Seattle's -3.5. It's at 4.5, 5. Same they were with New England. They were about the 4 or 5 point underdogs. They're at home. I just like what, Seattle's doing. My man DK, I'm going to mention him every week. He's a difference maker. Could Dallas stop him? No. Russell Wilson is the best deep ball thrower in the league. It's hard to go against a team when you have all those check marks. Yeah, Cowboys are got the momentum in the right direction, but Seattle hasn't lost a game, so I'm going to take Seattle -4.5. Sunday night game, Green Bay Packers at New Orleans Saints. New Orleans open up at -6.5, but problems that they have. Now they're -3 in some books. Aaron Rodgers, Drew Brees. It's going to be a phenomenal game. I throw everything in the past away. I don't care about the Las Vegas Raiders beating them last week. I picked them, by the way. But this is going to be a different game. And I believe that, all the key players, all the key superstars are going to be playing in this game. They have something to prove. Green Bay side, New Orleans side. It should be one of those shootout games I would expect. I don't expect a low-scoring game. I'm not going to bet the over and under in this game. But if I had to pick a team, I'm going to go with, I'm sure everybody's taking, well, it says here 6.5. Now it's down to 3. The entire betting public is on Green Bay Packers because of what they've done so far in these first 2 weeks. But you have to remember it's a weaker division that they're playing, and they're playing teams that are not that good, and they're winning. So could they win against a Saints team that hasn't been playing their best? Yeah, they could. I don't think so. I think the Saints get it back on track this week. I think it's going to be a huge day for all the superstars on that team. Just make sure you look for the injuries, guys. for wide receiver on both sides. See what's happening there. That can make your final decision. I'll probably put a little bit on this game, depending on how much I'm up. If I'm down, I'll probably just sit and watch it. But if I'm up, I try to cash out a little bit more than I had. It's the last game of the week. It's not something you should do. But if you're up, might as well, splash it a little bit. I'll take the New Orleans Saints minus the 3. I do think that they rebound here and they bounce back with a vengeance. Monday night, Kansas City at Baltimore. This is the actual game of the week, but it comes on Monday, so will they make it the game of the week? Probably not. They go with Sunday games. But you got Mahomes and Jackson. It's going to be, the two best teams in the league going at it in Baltimore. Both offenses are stellar. They're the best offenses. You're going to get, it was open up at minus 2.5. I see it at 3.5 in a lot of books. You could still get it at 3 if you're going to take the Ravens. If not, you're going to want to wait and try to get it at 3.5, 4 with Kansas City. They're both 2-0. So now you go, both offenses are neck and neck. So now the way I do it, break down this, I look at the defenses. What defense would I want on the field to win the game for me? And it's the Baltimore Ravens. They're the best defense in the league, guys. The Chiefs have a decent defense, and they had a great defense last year that really got them in the playoffs and the Super Bowls and won it for them. It was their defense too, because they still had to stop teams, and their defense did it, and people didn't see that. They just seen Mahomes. They still have a better than average defense, but in this game, I take the defense. That's the only way I could separate them. The home, they got the home 3 points. Usually, guys, when teams are favored by 3, that's because they got the home advantage. So it's really an even game. Yeah, so that's about it. So I'll go over real quick for you. I got Miami is a best bet for me. The Rams is a best bet. The 49ers is a best bet. And the Arizona Cardinals. We're going to try to keep it going, go to 12-0 on the best bets. And we're going to just try to keep this thing going, guys. Make sure you sign up for sleeperselections.com, and then go check us out at bestsportspickstoday.com and at cappertech.com. I am still the number one fantasy something else that we do well, and we'll try to get some videos in with that. But the number one in picking the NFL out of 777 handicappers. Make sure you go there, check us out. And then if you want these, put in the comments if you want a copy of the sheet with the picks. I could PDF it to you. Just put your email address in the comments below, and make sure you subscribe, guys, because that's the key thing. You'll get these notifications when I put these videos out, and sometimes I might make a change last minute, and if I do, I want you to get it. This is Anthony Ace Michaels, and I'll see you, and good luck.